Someone compliments you. They say you look younger than your age. You smile, maybe thank them, maybe brush it off as luck, good genes, or skincare. But deep down, there's something about that comment that lingers, because it feels like more than a surface observation. It feels like a reflection of something happening inside you. Jung believed the face is not just flesh and bone. It's a mirror of the psyche. What you see in someone's expression isn't only genetics or time. It's the silent story of their relationship with the unconscious. Those who carry unresolved tension, bitterness, or fear often wear it, etched into the forehead, the jaw, the eyes. But those who are connected to something deeper radiate a strange kind of youthfulness. Not the kind that creams or surgeries create, but the kind that comes from integration, from the meeting of the conscious and the unconscious self. Modern psychology backs this in subtle ways. Studies on affect and facial microexpressions show that chronic emotional suppression changes our musculature, our resting expressions. We literally mold ourselves to fit the persona we show the world. Over time, that rigidity dulls vitality. But when someone is emotionally honest, when they've made peace with their contradictions, their features soften. They appear alive, not perfect. So maybe timelessness isn't about resisting age at all. Maybe it's about coherence. When your inner and outer selves align, energy flows freely again. The body no longer needs to hold its mask so tightly. And that's where this journey begins. Not with a mirror, but with a quiet question. What does your face reveal about your inner life? To live close to yourself is not a poetic metaphor. It's a psychological reality. Jung called this inner center the self, the totality of who you are, both known and unknown. Most people live on the edges of it, orbiting their image, their roles, their responsibilities. But those who draw nearer to the self often seem to move through the world differently. There's a quiet coherence in their presence, as if their energy isn't scattered in 1,000 directions. When Jung spoke of individuation, the lifelong process of integrating the conscious and unconscious, he was describing her return to wholeness. It's not about self-improvement or becoming flawless. It's about allowing the rejected, forgotten, and wounded parts of you to come home. That inner reconciliation creates a calm that others can sense, even if they can't explain it. Biology reflects this inner harmony more than we think. Research in psychoneuroimmunology has shown that chronic emotional conflict, suppressing anger, grief, or shame, raises stress hormones that accelerate cellular aging. The opposite is also true. People who practice emotional awareness and acceptance show lower cortisol levels, slower biological aging, and improved immune function. In simple terms, peace of mind leaves fingerprints on the body. You might recognize it in someone who's lived a full, difficult life but still carries light in their eyes. Their wrinkles don't make them look older, they make them look more real. There's a warmth in them that beauty alone can't imitate. That's what Jung meant when he said the self illuminates the personality like the sun. When consciousness aligns with this deeper center, vitality returns, not as excitement or youth, but as radiance. Living close to the self doesn't mean retreating from life. It means being fully present within it. You begin to meet each moment without disguise or resistance. The mind quiets, the body follows. The light that emerges from that state isn't mystical. It's the visible peace of someone who has stopped running from themselves. And as we'll see next, the greatest barrier to this inner wholeness isn't time or even trauma. It's the mask we wear to survive in the world. Every person carries a shadow, the unseen self that trails quietly behind our conscious identity. Jung described it as the sum of everything we repress, deny, or refuse to admit about ourselves. The anger we bury, the envy we hide, the vulnerability we conceal, all of it gathers there. Most people spend their lives pretending the shadow doesn't exist. Yet, ironically, it's that denial that drains us most deeply. Psychology has shown that what we suppress doesn't disappear. It embeds itself in the body. Chronic tension in the shoulders, fatigue that sleep can't fix, a dullness behind the eyes. These are often signs of emotional energy turned inward. Studies in psychosomatic medicine link emotional repression to elevated cortisol and inflammatory responses that hasten cellular aging. The body grows weary when it must constantly silence what the soul wants to speak. But here lies the paradox Jung saw so clearly. When we stop running from the shadow, we regain the life force trapped within it. Facing anger can awaken assertiveness. Acknowledging envy can uncover hidden desire. Recognizing fear can restore courage. What we integrate no longer controls us. It fuels us. That recovered vitality isn't just psychological. It's visible. The posture straightens, the face softens, the eyes regain a certain brightness. It's the same lightness children have, the freedom of not pretending. This reconciliation is not a one-time revelation. It's an ongoing act of honesty. Each time you admit a truth you once resisted, you become a little less divided inside. That inner unity lowers the body's stress response and restores its natural rhythm. You begin to feel younger, not because you've escaped time, but because you stopped resisting yourself. The shadow, then, isn't the darkness to avoid. It's the doorway back to energy. And when that energy is reclaimed, something unexpected happens. The lines on your face stop feeling like signs of decay. They start to look like traces of a life courageously lived. In the next section, we'll explore the outer mask that often hides this inner transformation, the persona we build to protect ourselves, and how learning to set it down can reveal the authentic presence we've been searching for all along. Some people never really grow old. You can see it in the way they look at the world with eyes that still wonder, laugh, and question. Jung called this energy the eternal child, or pur aeternus, the archetype of perpetual renewal. It lives in each of us as the impulse to dream, to imagine, to begin again. And while society often tells us to grow up, Jung warned that when this inner child is buried, our spirit begins to decay long before the body does. The eternal child is not immaturity. It's not about denying responsibility or escaping reality. It's about preserving the flame of curiosity, the feeling that life, no matter how familiar, still holds mystery. You see it in people like Leonardo da Vinci, whose fascination never waned, or in spiritual teachers who carry a light playfulness even in old age. Their vitality isn't physical, it's existential. They are alive because they've refused to let cynicism replace wonder. Modern neuroscience supports this idea. Research on neuroplasticity shows that the brain remains youthful when engaged in novelty, learning, play, creativity. Rigid routines and emotional withdrawal accelerate cognitive aging, while curiosity literally strengthens neural connections. The eternal child keeps us adaptive, spontaneous, emotionally supple. But keeping that spirit alive often means going against the grain. Adulthood prizes control, predictability, and restraint. The inner child, by contrast, seeks awe, color, and connection. When we suppress that instinct for play, life becomes mechanical, and the face follows suit. Yet, when we allow joy and imagination back in, something subtle changes. The features lift, the eyes brighten, the whole presence becomes lighter. Jung saw the eternal child as both fragile and sacred, a reminder that the divine spark in us never ages. Protecting it doesn't mean escaping life's pain. It means carrying light even through it. To stay spiritually young is not to stay untouched by the world, but to stay untamed by it. And yet, this childlike vitality can only thrive when rooted in something deeper, a connection not just to play, but to meaning itself. In the next section, we'll explore how that meaning arises through what Jung called the transcendent function, the bridge between our human limits and something far greater that lives within us. If the shadow drains our energy in silence, the persona does it in plain sight. Jung described the persona as the mask we wear to meet the world, our social armor, crafted to protect and please. It begins innocently. We learn to smile when sad, to appear confident when uncertain, to be good when we're angry. But over years, that mask grows heavy. It fuses to the skin until we forget there's a living face beneath it. The tragedy is that the persona doesn't just hide who we are, it quietly exhausts us. Think of the parent who must always be perfect, the man who must never appear weak, the caregiver who must never have needs. Each role demands constant self-control, and that tension seeps into the body. The jaw tightens, the chest feels heavy, the vitality drains. You start to look tired, not from time, but from performance. Jung believed that what ages the soul fastest isn't failure or loss, it's falseness. The effort of maintaining an image keeps the psyche split in two. The conscious self clings to the act, while the unconscious rebels beneath it. Authenticity, then, isn't a luxury. It's a biological and spiritual necessity. When we stop pretending, energy that was once spent on impression flows back into expression. The face relaxes, the body breathes, the eyes reclaim their depth. You can see it in those who have dropped the act. They might not be conventionally beautiful, yet something about them feels magnetic. It's the radiance of truth, the kind that doesn't shout, but shines quietly. So perhaps the greatest anti-aging secret isn't hidden in serums or rituals at all. It's the courage to live without disguise, to let the mask slip and reveal the person the soul has been shaping underneath. And from that unmasked stillness, something begins to stir, a bridge between who we are and who we're becoming. That bridge is Jung's most mysterious idea, the transcendent function. In the end, everything we've explored, the self, the shadow, the eternal child, the persona, all point toward a single truth. Youth is not measured in years, but in wholeness. The more divided we are inside, the older we feel. The more integrated we become, the lighter we move through the world. Jung saw the journey of individuation not as self-perfection, but as reconciliation, a return to our natural state of inner unity. When the conscious and the unconscious meet, when the shadow is embraced, when the child within is allowed to play again, and the mask finally drops, what remains is simplicity, presence, radiance. Time can mark the skin, but it cannot touch a soul at peace with itself. To live in harmony with who you truly are is to live beyond time. If this reflection moved you, subscribe for more journeys into the hidden depths of the psyche, where the timeless part of you has always been waiting.